May we get some public comment cards, please, and some agendas? It's going to be 10 o'clock. Thank you. Campos, how the fuck you run a meeting with no public comment cards, homie? There's your number one card in your hand, Campos. Campito. public comment cards?
Fernando.
Are we paying an attorney to sit here and not do her job? Come on, homie. Get your get your group pay over here. Let's get this shit rolling. Business time. Business time. We're working people, not sitting on our ass. Working people. Come on. Get your job. Get to your job on time. Fuck, you think we don't got family and children at home waiting for mommy and daddy? Yeah, now you know. What kind of fucking meeting start at? Campos? Fire that fat president. You got a pro temp. She knows how to do her job. We run this city. We're the taxpayers. We're the homeowners. That stupid broad put you in a commission seat. Do your job. Show up on time. Be respectful. Settle down, Campos. This is trucker music. Woo-hoo.
Audio test, testing 1, 2, 3. Audio test, testing 1, 2, 3. Good morning, everyone. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer with the Board of Public Works for today, Friday, June 23, 2023. We should get started in the next couple of minutes as soon as we can establish quorum. For those members that are joining us through the Zoom application, thank you so much for joining us this morning. For those members that are here in chambers this morning, if you can just please silence your phones and then also turn off your cell phone so that we can have everyone listen to us as we meet this morning. If there is interruptions, we will declare that as a disturbance or also ask our president to invoke our decorum rules under the Board of Public Works board rules this morning. For those that are joining us through the Zoom applications, can we just get confirmation that you can hear us? Brett McReynolds, good morning to you. I'm just going to random select you. If you can just verify that you can hear us on the Zoom application.
We don't have a quorum.
Mr. McReynolds, if you can just unmute your microphone, if you can confirm that you can hear us on the Zoom application.
Bitches that want to come in person. Faggots.
All right, let's try this again. Mr. McReynolds, good morning to you. If you can please unmute your microphone. Please confirm you can hear us on the Zoom application.
Yes, I can, Dr. Campos.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Again, good morning, everyone. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer with the Board of Public Works for today, Friday, June 23rd, 2023. We should get started as soon as we can establish quorum this morning. Quick roll call for presenters this morning. Item number 1 will be presented by Tanet and Jocelyn from LADOT. Item number 2, Jerry Villalobos. Item number 3 will be presented by Nate Isaac. Nat. Item number 4, Stephen Fierce. Item number 5, Christian Guerrero. No presenter on item number 6. And then item number 7, Jorge Garcia. For Bureau representatives that are joining us this morning through the Zoom application, Shay Doong, Brett McReynolds, Sherrod Nichols, Reginald Taylor, and Ruben Flamenco, good morning to you all. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Should the board have any questions for your Bureau, we will open up that audio lines for you at that time. For members of the general public that are here in person at City Hall, there are speaker cards located at the back end of the room if you'd like to speak under general public comment or commentary on any of the items for today's agenda. If you can please complete a speaker card and hand that over to myself. I did receive about 13 speaker cards this morning, but if you'd like to submit anything before we get started, please go ahead and complete that speaker card for me. For members of the general public that are joining us through the Zoom application, if you'd like to provide general public comment or commentary on any of the items, if you can please raise your hand at this time by pressing *9. If you're joining us through the Zoom application, there is a raise hand icon located at the lower right-hand side of your screen. You can go ahead and click that raise hand icon at this time. Again, we're just identifying members of the general public that would like to provide general public comment or commentary on any of the items for today's agenda. Thank you. Seeing one hand raised on the Zoom application. Dr. Williams, good morning to you. If you can please let us know which item you'd like to speak on.
General public comment, number 1, number 6, and number 7.
Dr. Williams, general public comment 1, 6, and 7. Did I get that correct?
Correct.
Thank you so much. And we do have President Garcia that just joined us, so we can go ahead and establish quorum. President Garcia just going through the speaker cards quickly this morning. Dr. Williams, thank you again for identifying those items. We should get started in the next 30 seconds. President Garcia, good morning to you. We can establish quorum. If you'd like, I can go ahead and start the recording. Dr. Davis should be joining us a little late this morning, but he should be here in the next 5 minutes.
Okay.
President Garcia, you're now in record mode.
Great, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the regular scheduled meeting for the Board of Public Works for Friday, June 23rd, 2023. Dr. Campos?
Good morning, everyone. Again, Fernando Campos, Executive Officer, establishing roll call and quorum this morning. We have President Garcia, Vice President Villegas, and Commissioner Corzan. President Garcia, you do have a quorum at this time. For the record, Dr. Davis is not in the room, but should be joining us in the next couple of minutes, and Commissioner Reyes is on an approved absence on city business this morning. President Garcia, at this time, we do have speaker cards under general public comment. We also have one caller on the Zoom application that would like to provide general public comment as well. We also received speaker cards on items 1 through 7 this morning. So again, speaker cards under general public comment, and then items 1 through 7.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to those that are here in the chamber and to those that are joining us via the virtual platform. We do have a pretty, full agenda for a Friday, so that's good to hear. But we will start with public comment today, and I will start with the first public speaker, which is Mr. Kenneth Coe. I can go to the next one. Kenyatta, you're right, I'm sorry.
Good morning to the Board of Public Works. Kenyatta Cole, I'm with the Asset Haul Truck Program. As you guys know, the City Attorney, Ms. Soto, I believe shot down all the suggestions and that we presented to the city attorneys. We're here asking the Board of Public Works to consider, give us some stability as we work through this AB5 issue. We've been in contact with the Black Caucus and the different assemblymen, and of course, Ms. Maxine Waters, to go to the state legislation in order to sit before a judge and hammer this out. So we know that the Board of Public Works have granted an extension before. Even we're at least a minimum, we're asking of a 1 year in order that we can get this done. We know we can get it done. I got faith in the system. So, but we need you guys to just, give us some stability so we can pay our bills, take care of our families, and pay for some of this equipment that, we've purchased, that we've tied to our homes. A lot of these loans came from putting our homes up as collateral in order to do business with the city of Los Angeles. And so, we don't want nobody to be out on the street homeless, and this is where we headed. If we need some, everyone said they love the program. So if you love the program, show us that you love us and demonstrate that love for us. you know, and so we're asking for that stability in order to work through this AB, and we can work within the law. We can work within the law
2
of
minutes.
AB 5 and get it hammered out. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Mr. Korat Arkelian. I'm sorry if I'm missaying Ms. Koropet Arakelian.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. What I'd like to address today is, like Mr. Kenyatta Cole said, it's about our livelihoods, about our jobs. Just simple question, put yourselves in our shoes. If you guys were doing trucking and this is all you know how to do, and when they take your livelihoods away, how would you guys feel? We've been doing the city jobs, I have, for about 3 years now. And outside I had a job, and you know, it goes by the seniority. And now since I left there, came to the city, we lost all that. So there's nothing else out there for us to go out there and support our families. Basically, the program is just leaving 93 people plus drivers that some of us have out on the street. At today's economy, cost of living, it's not simple. Basically, all we're asking is to reconsider this. We are legal under AB 5 to work as we used to. Few things have to be restructured. I'm sure 93 families plus drivers, which is going to be over 100 people, are getting affected by this program. And I think for the city attorney not to take serious consideration, look into it, because we are legal to work. That is totally careless and irresponsible of her. It's not only one life, you know, you got people with their families, and like I said, we have drivers as well. So it's going to be 100 plus people that are going to look for a job. With today's economy, there's nothing out there. And we have notes, like Kenyatta said.
2 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. David Arakelian. Next speaker, Mr. David Arakelian.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to talk on behalf of the 93 truck drivers who will be losing their job upcoming on the date of July 1st. First, I want to address the law of AB 5, how that law is not affecting any truck driver sitting in this room currently right now. The law states that third-party contractors cannot work. Nobody sitting in this room is a third-party contractor. They work direct with the city. They are second-party contractors. That has nothing to do with these drivers sitting in this room. So now 93 drivers plus their families, as the speaker before said, are going to basically be going homeless because of this law that has nothing to do with us and is being implemented within these drivers. They're going to lose their jobs upcoming July 1st, and most of these drivers have trucks over $200,000 that they need to pay off, that they bought because of your guys' law, which we had to buy brand new trucks due to the DEF law, which we complied with. And now, because you guys are implementing a law that has nothing to do with us, we are losing our jobs, don't know how to pay off our trucks, and will basically be going homeless and in debt. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Our next speaker, Carlos Sanchez.
Good morning, board members. My name is Carlos Sanchez, and I am one of the owner-operators truck here. We're here today. We received a letter yesterday from our district attorney, Ms. Heidi Soto, and she is classifying us under the Dynamex Court, Superior Court case. We are not under the Dynamex. We're totally under the Borello's case. And for that, we are 100% exempt from AB 5. We don't know why the city attorney doesn't want to sit down with us or with our attorney. I know that we've been communicated, and I understand that the board here is on our side, that you all agree that we should not be terminated. So our question again is, why is Ms. Heidi Soto wants to get rid of this program? And on the letter that she sends, in simple English, we can't read it, I'll run out of time, that if she exempts this program, that she would jeopardize other trucking companies that they have not been exempt. We're not asking for an exemption. We are exempt from the AB5. Why isn't that she doesn't want to listen to that? Or have maybe meet with us before the end of this month or with our attorneys. That's what we're here for. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Andy Pendeline. Andy Pendeline?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of my friends who would like to speak about us, I want to appreciate it for working for City of LA so many 3 years, and let make us to buy the trucks and to work. I just bought a brand new truck about 5 months ago, and I cannot afford it living in this condition because they can afford it, pay the payments and everything like that. The economy is so bad right now, and they got rid of us with no notification, nothing. Just it's hard for us to do a lot of things. So I'm owner operator like everybody else. I'm talking on behalf of my brothers and brothers over here. Please give us work so we can work. We need this job. We need to support our families, and we don't want to end up so in the streets. Some of the people are. It's terrible. We just want to give us a hand, support us to get this going. We love this job. We love what we do. I've been doing trucking for 43 years myself, and I got family to support. I got a house payment, everything, mortgage, and a truck payment. I got $5,000 payment in my truck only, and I cannot leave it like this. I'm the only person working in my family, and I cannot survive like this. They're running us out of the streets sooner or later. They're not going to just give us a hand so we can keep going. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Next speaker, Mr. Victor Vasquez, Senior.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for all being here. It's very important to us. This program, as you all know, had generations and generations. People have died, and unlike the city employees who have a pension, this is our pension. This is our 401k. We don't get medical, dental, vision, nothing, zero. It comes all out of our pocket. We cannot let those people who have died and left it to their spouses and their children to this day that are still. It's not even coming for free like a pension. They have to put somebody to work. They have to do paperwork, a regulation, come out of pocket to continue that. It's not a free ride even. It's very hard. It's work. That's what it is. It's work. So we are public servants. We work direct with LAPD every single day. We are essential workers. We've worked through COVID every single day. We spend more time with the city staff than our own families every single day. Other people have exempted or been exempted from AB5. So like mobile barbers, dog groomers, AAA towing. So, ladies and gentlemen, what they forgot is that there's a lot of factors here that are going to be affected in California. And this is nowhere else in the United States. But here, some of the examples are the water and power. How are they going to continue? They use brokers and contract trucks. Emergency fires, there's fires right now today in Sacramento. Example was Paradise. Malibu mudslides, those are all independent contractors. We have had, and we're asking for a last-ditch effort. At this point, I'm calling out Governor Gavin Newsom to revisit and add us to that list of somehow, because there was a huge oversight, and all of the carve-outs to AB5, they use and drive on the streets that we pave. And Mayor Karen Bass, I'm calling you out too. Please make a motion to reclaim our jobs. Thank
2
you.
minutes.
Thank you. Next speaker, Michael Hernandez.
Good morning, board members, and I'm sure you know what's going on. Like you said, there was something we didn't want to see in the letter, and we got it yesterday, late last night, and it was about us becoming drivers for the city at $30 an hour. Well, if some of you may not know, that's about 20% of what we make as being truck operators or to truck driver for the city. It was kind of like I was offended by it, a little bit of a slap in the face. I wanted to talk about something that was said on the bottom of that letter, of the other letter, which was that that you guys are going to reach out to us about the trucks, about the analysis of what are you going to do with our trucks that we bought. Like Mr. Andy was saying, his is 5,000, mine's 3,000, other people's is 4,000. We're running out of time here. I got to pay my truck at the end of the month, you know, and I haven't worked this month. So I want to know what does that mean? Are you guys going to do something? Like I said, I came on the meeting that on the 9th, was it? June 9th, I think it was, and I said, you know, lease our trucks to us. We'll lease you the trucks. You guys get the W-2, you know, and then you guys get away from 1099ing us. And that's it. I mean, that's a simple solution. The better solution would be just to rewrite the contract, because we are exempt, but I guess the city attorney upstairs ain't budging, so we got to go, the solution is, we got to go with something else, because she's just going to refuse. And about that extension that we were asking for, if we could just sit down one more month, just one more month, keep us working, or month to month, or at least a year extension, that would be nice. I'm sure we can get something going in a couple months, and maybe we can reword the program, restructure it, and get our jobs back, because, you know, as of right now, we're going down the drain because we're not making any money. But yeah, I would like to, you know, talk about that extension and about the lease trucks, something a little
2 minutes.
faster. Sorry about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. Mr. Asad Petroshinian.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody speak, and I'm gonna speak for everybody and for myself too. I'm in the trucking business from 1977. I built this country maybe more than 60%. When I start in the trucking business in the downtown, you guys gonna see only the hotel, the Bonaventure Hotel. I used to have really good business. I used to have a lot of people, they used to have really good business, they used to work. And if I tell you true, I know a lot of things about the trucking business because I was so many years in this business. I was waiting for 7 years for the list. They hired like 3 years ago. But in that time, I used to have a really good job. And when I got hired, I told them, can I work only like 2 days? Because I heard like each year they have a problem. They told me it's okay, no problem. If you're working 2 days, that's fine. And after 1 year, one of them, the supervisor, David Campbell, he called me. He told me, you know, Azad, you can't work like this. If you want to work for us, you got to work every day. So I met him. I told him, okay, I'm going to work for you every day. And I got brand new special truck. The truck is cost me like $255,000. I bought the truck, and after like 1 year or 1.5 it's like everybody went out of business. And everybody, you guys know, we got so much payments, house, this one, that one, and like Mr. Juicy told us we don't have no pension, we don't have no 401k, we don't have no insurance, nothing. Everything we paying, all these guys, they paying everything from their own pocket. So I'd like to, if you guys gonna try to help us, just, that's what I'd like to tell you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anneli Rico?
Good morning. My name is Anneli Rico, and I'm here on behalf of my dad, who's been in the program for over 40 years, my brother, Mike Hernandez, my husband, Oscar Rico, my father-in-law, and the 93 men and women that have been servicing this program for over a century. I'm sure that by now you have heard from my peers, you know, the facts and the information, but I want to look at things, I want you guys to look at things from an angle of a mother and a wife who has been pretty much her whole life in trucking. My dad, that's all I know. And coming from somebody who the city has basically raised me, because that's what my father has done his whole entire life since he's come here from Cuba. I want to know why this is happening, okay? The termination of this contract means so much for us. Let's start with the simple things, just providing a roof over my child's head and food on the table. Not to mention the health of my children, because right now we are unable to pay for our health insurance. By terminating this program, you're contributing to the destruction of our LA streets. These truckers shoulder a significant responsibility in the economy. Their termination will lead to the rise of unemployment, it will lead to homelessness, and more importantly, it's all around our city mental health. We have complied with every single demand the City of LA has asked for us, from purchasing CARB-compliant equipment that is designed specifically for the repaving of our LA streets. All of us owe money on these clean air trucks, and without this job, we aren't able to afford the $3,000 to $5,000 payments. What do you expect from us to do with that? The city offered employment at $30 an hour. I know for a fact you're not working at $30 an hour. We know very well that $30 an hour is not going to get anybody, especially when we have these equipments to pay for, okay? Do you really think that this is sufficient money or sufficient salary for all of us that have incurred these charges? The financial burdens of these trucks, of moving things around, of getting, you know, drivers, payroll, all these things. The letter we received yesterday offering us employment was honestly the biggest insult to all these truckers. And if anything, you should be appreciative and honored to work with these kind of people. They have made the streets of LA better. They dedicated their lives, and they deserve better. Let's talk to Heidi and get them their jobs back, get them a contract, or get them an extension. Because if this happened to you and your family, you guys would not be happy. They deserve better.
Turn off the microphones.
Thank you. Next speaker, Arturo Soto.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I thank you for giving me the opportunity to address the recent loss of our contract and challenges it has brought upon us. It is with a heavy heart I stand here before you today to discuss the situation we are facing. As many are aware, we have recently lost our contract with the City of Los Angeles, which has put us in a difficult financial position. We understand the importance of upholding our contractual obligations, which we have done for the city, and deliver quality services for the city. It says, losing the contract has been a wake-up call for all of us, okay? And we are committed to learn from our mistakes, of course, making necessary changes to ensure that such issues do not arise in the future, okay? Moreover, the extension will provide, we're asked for an extension from the city, because where we're at right now is a very difficult position because of our financial situation. All of us have truck payments, $5,000, $3,000, $4,000. Myself, I pay about $4,500, including insurance, which is $14,000 a year. Okay, I can't sustain that. None of these guys can sustain that. So we've been out of work for a month. The payments are due. May be able to cover them this month. Next month, we'll be on the street or in bankruptcy court, okay? And then the street, of course. Moreover, an extension will provide us with the necessary time to release
2 minutes.
our financial situation, explore alternatives, funding options,
2 minutes, if you can please
and
wrap up.
put forward a substantial plan for meeting our financial obligations.
Please wrap
We are
up.
determined to find a solution and to satisfy both parties.
President Garcia, I can turn off the mics if you'd like. It's been 2 minutes.
Okay.
He can finish.
Please allow the program to continue and support us during challenging times. Grant us an extension of the contract will not only, granting us an extension of the contract will not only help us overcome our immediate financial struggles, but also give us the opportunity to provide our commitment of excellence and regain your trust. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Edward Gant, Edward Gant.
Yes, Gant. I'm speaking on behalf of the as-needed truckers out here and the situation everyone is speaking about. I want to make a point. Mr. Keith Mose, the Director and General Manager of Bureau of Street Services and the City Attorney Office says the only reason, sole reason why we can't work with them is the law, the AB 5 law. I would like to point out that entering this contract, the city forced us to use our personal name and personal social to even be on the waiting list, which I waited 5 years to get this contract. They refused to allow me to be the business that I am. I'm a trucking company and I have drivers. They forced us into this box. Now they're using that against us to get us out. I've been on with the city roughly 12 years. There's people been here much longer than me. We are under 2776 of the AB 5 law. And it's amazing to me that the city attorney which sent the letter out yesterday, and I quote, says, new contracts are not a viable solution as our office could not sign a contract as to form a legality. The city attorney is refusing to give us a legal contract under the law, but under the law that Gavin Newsom signed, the AB 5 law, I quote, existing law authorities and action for injunctive relief to prevent misclassification of employees to be prosecuted against a putative employer by the Attorney General or a city attorney. This bill would also authorize a district attorney to prosecute an action for injunctive relief. How is the city attorney refusing to give us a legal contract when a new law comes into law and rewrite it to adjust to the new law and just refuse to give us our jobs and we're 100% legal? I don't understand, and I wish I could sit down with them and go over the law and let them show me where I'm wrong. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll have Mr. John Perez.
Some of us have been leaving here so we can go to the city council.
Okay.
I just wanted to say, wow. I am so disappointed, and most likely all of us are. And I know that you guys are not the root of this problem. And maybe the young lady there, she could say to Heidi Soto that definitely it's shame. I think that we're disappointed with the government at the state level, Governor Newsom. He's not reaching out. We emailed many of times. Karen Bass, at the city level, she's yesterday just signed a directive to help small businesses. I know you guys are aware of that. And she is not even paying attention to us. We've been out here every day protesting on something that we deserve to have because we are business to business under the law. And I don't know where Heidi is getting her facts. Actually, City Attorney Heidi Soto, It's trying to terminate this program from the City of Los Angeles trucking program that's built this city for over 133 years. The streets that you ride on, the sidewalks, the buses, the bus paths, you name it. Mr. Mike Davis knows, he's in contracts here, and he knows everything that goes on. A lot of contractors come in here, you guys give them money galore, they don't have a problem. They have trucking as well, they don't have a problem. The root of the problem is us, and we're not the root of the problem. Unless someone's here in with the unions, which is indicates, because the unions do want this law in order to satisfy more fees and union dues. And we know that. It's something that Lorena Gonzalez, she put into the legislation, Governor Newsom signed it. And now, I have no idea if, hopefully Heidi is not, fulfilling, advocating to the unions in order to get rid of us. Now this employment that they're offering us, it's actually a very limited amount of time. It's emergency appointment, it's 1 year, and then you're out the door. And for the trucking that they've had before,
2 minutes.
and I know it's my time to go, on the broker, when Keith Mosea wanted the development for brokerage, we have a supervisor or a superintendent here, used to be a supervisor, and you guys could talk to him. He's right over there, George Garcia. And you guys could speak with him, and he could let you know that those trucks were wasted taxpayers' money, yours and mine. Thank you so much. I'll be at the other meeting. Thank you.
Next speaker, Eddie Navarrete.
Good morning. My name is Eddie Navarrete. I'm here to speak on item number 1. I think it's number 2 under that item.
I have you under general comment.
And general comment.
And
Yes,
general
thank
comment.
you. My name, again, is Eddie Navarrete. I'm with the Independent Hospitality Coalition, also as a major contributor to the EWDD task force that was to find low-cost and no-cost ways to help businesses get through the pandemic. I want to comment primarily on the LA DOT presentation that's going to happen today. First, I want to say thank you to the staff at LA DOT. They really saved us during that time. I'm not sure if they get thanked enough for the hard work and the bravery that they did during that time, but a lot of us were very thankful for that. And that's not what I'm here to talk about today. What I'm here to talk about, again, is that report. And just some general comments on some things that I would like for you guys to consider and for staff to consider moving forward with that report. First off is just to give us more time. The public really hasn't been made aware. Right now we're supposed to only have till July to have public comments given. I think we should have at least 60 days. I think within that time there should be some sort of public forum for us to ask questions and so as to have some feedback, more transparency in that process. We would like the commission or you guys to consider that, staff to consider this. I also would like for you to consider the Shared Spaces program, where they highlight instructions for us to comply with, rather than us submitting plans and then having staff's time being wasted, and also the private sector's time being wasted trying to figure out complicated engineering problems. I think that if we figure out what can be done, much like a Type 5 sheet or a pre-engineered structural plan, it can give the tools to the community to build something that works. This is also done in the Shared Spaces program in San Francisco, which works really wonderfully. That's all I really have. Thank you for the good work that you put into this, and would definitely like to continue the discussions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Navarrete. Next, we have a speaker with the letter starting B.
Yeah, so I'm here in support of the owner-operators. How many of your constituents from Los Angeles support hard-working fucking truck drivers? And where is your fucking mayor, the fucking cunt, bitch, Black Sambos that can't show up to give them 1 minute of fucking attention to a real reason why they need their jobs? We don't need no more California homelessness. We don't need no more goddamn fucking bullshit. Garcia, you showed up 15 fucking minutes late. Take your fucking job serious, you fat cunt. All of you are cunts and you'll show up on time. except for Davis. He's sick. But he's going to support the black African-American truck driver. He's going to support the hardworking Latino truck drivers. He's going to support and make you think critically how important it is to pick up the goddamn asphalt. Otherwise, like I said once before under Brandenburg versus Ohio, US 395, 444, 1969, a dirty nigger. Only truck drivers, hard-working families save America infrastructure by hauling all this shit. And you want to take their fucking jobs away? Really? And politely, 42 USC 1983, fuck you. Fuck you. And fuck this city. You know about the corruption. You heard it from public testimony. They're so fucking greedy, padding your fucking wallets while families are going through mental health, worried about their fucking livelihood, truck driving and hauling shit. So get your shit together, bitch. Blow job.
We'll go now with a speaker via Zoom.
Absolutely. Dr. Tom Williams, if you can please unmute your microphone. The Board of Public Works is considering general public comment. You'll have 2 minutes to speak under this segment. Please go ahead.
Good morning. Dr. Tom Williams, Citizens Coalition for a Safe Community and past director of LA 32 Neighborhood Council. We have had 2 meetings with Bureau of Engineering and consultants for the 710 North Mobility and or Multimodal Transport Improvement Project. DOE is in charge of this project system. However, the consultants say that they are getting the projections of traffic flows on Valley, Huntington, and Mission, and Eastern from the BOE. So we're trying to track down the projection of traffic flows on Valley, Eastern, and Huntington Drive Mission from the BOE and who's in charge of these and how they were developed, because we're quite concerned regarding current traffic flows and those projected for 2029 and 2045, and whether they're consistent with SCAGS-derived population, households, and jobs. So please find me a contact for BOE that has these traffic counts for this project, which is under BOE. So give me a contact. I need the contracts, I need the specifications, and I need the traffic projections. That's all. Thank you.
President Garcia, that does clear the queue for public comments on the Zoom application.
Great, thank you very much. Given that public comment, we've tackled all the speaker cards and we have now heard virtual platform. Public comments now officially closed. Moving on to the approval of the minutes of today, of Friday, June 9, 2023. Is there a second to my motion to approve the minutes of Friday, June 9, 2023? Second. Thank you, Vice President Villegas. Dr. Campos is a first by me and a second by VP Villegas to approve the minutes.
Absolutely. Let's start the voting tabulation. We'll start with you, President Garcia.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
And Commissioner Corzan.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Moving on to agenda item number 1. Before we do that, we do have a couple speaker cards for item number 1. First, we start with Eddie Navarrete. He was here earlier.
I believe he was under general public comment. Eddie Navarrete, are you still in the room? Last call for Eddie Navarrete. President Garcia, no one is approaching the podium.
Great, next caller is, letter starts with the letter B.
Letter B, if you can please approach the podium to speak. The Board of Public Works is considering item number 1. Last call for letter B. Madam Chair, no one is approaching the podium.
We called it. And our speaker also, Tricia LaBelle.
Good morning, everyone. First, I'd like to say thank you as well. I represent the Greater Los Angeles Hospitality Association, over 28,000 restaurants and bars in this city. Tremendous job on the alfresco program. It saved many of our businesses, including one of mine. I'm very grateful for it. It was a lot of hard work, and it was something that was magically put together in a matter of short time. And when I see that that was such a success, I think that there are other things that we can do, including what I'm hearing today, a little swifter than how we take things to do in this city. I do have some concerns on the program because you guys are restricting or denying live ambient music entertainment. I do know that the alfresco program on private property did allow that in the plan for ambient music, so I'm asking that also reflect and be the same as the private property program. If you have to put a dB meter in, my suggestion is put a dB level of about 65, 70. That helps. I know at my restaurant I keep a dB reading there so that we can maintain the level of the music. I also have a suggestion on the new owner. I do notice in the plan that you guys are denying if the property owner sells the business that a new ownership would have to go in and apply for the new ordinance. I ask as a business owner and as a leasehold tenant, everything that we can put together to make our business attractive to a buyer is essential, and it's stuff that we work for our whole life. I've been in this industry for 30 years, so being able to tell someone that they have the outdoor dining opportunity available to them and transferred over from my ownership would only be a fair and balanced dynamic, nothing intended to change. I just ask that that maintains the same for a new owner. You have a standing height table clause in there. I'm not quite sure what that means.
2
A lot of
minutes.
people are coming to me about that. So clarification on what your standing height. Does that mean no one can stand at a table, or you don't allow bar height tables with chairs at them? That's not clarified in there, and a lot of people are asking, what does that mean? Because a lot of places do have tables that are bar height with chairs at them. So we want to make sure that that is still allowed, or you're asking people to change all the furniture that they have paid for. And this was quite inexpensive. I know for me, my build-out alone, I have a property in Atwater Village. It takes up 4 parking places. That build-out cost me roughly $57,000. So I'm not looking forward to making some of the amendments that I'm going to have to already make. I did like the recommendation that the Independent Hospitality noted today, the opportunity to be able to do what other communities are doing, coming up with an infrastructure that's planned by Building and Safety that they have already approved, something that's a boilerplate program that you can just hand to someone who's making an application and saying, here's what's approved. If you go by these guidelines, we're all set, instead of having to submit plans for a design and go through that whole headache. As you know, building and safety and planning and all of that can get quite arduous and quite costly for a business owner. So something that's already put together that can be handed to an applicant would be the most efficient way to expedite this and successfully. Again, I thank you very much for putting this plan together. It's saved your restaurants and it's made our neighborhoods truly dynamic and fun. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Public comment for item number 1 is now officially closed. My apologies for that.
President Garcia, we do have one person on the Zoom application
Oh, we
that
do?
would like to
Okay.
speak on
Okay,
one.
let's open it back up for the Zoom application public comment.
Thank you, President Garcia. Dr. Tom Williams, if you can please unmute your microphone. The Board of Public Works is considering item number 1. You'll have 2 minutes to speak under this item. Please go ahead.
Good morning again. Dr. Tom Williams talking on item number 1. Need some information. Is the policy compliant with ADA requirements for public access to facilities for the public? On the sidewalk, is it safe and is it compliant with ADA requirements, i.e. flush movement of wheelchairs amongst the tables on the existing sidewalk and also access to the main building? So it's a real question. It's a public project. on public streets, but for private purposes. And the question is it ADA compliant? I'd highly recommend that an ADA policy be developed for on-street dining. That's all.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. President Garcia, that does clear the queue for public comments under item number 1 on the Zoom application.
Thank you very much. Public comment for item number 1 is officially now closed. Let me read the item into the agenda, and then I will call who is here? Mr. Tanat? Tanat, you're here for this item? Oh, good to see you, and Ms. Garcia. Give me a second, okay. This item number 1 is a request from the Bureau of Engineering in all council district, policy number 822, revised policy on sidewalk dining special engineering fee, recommending the board to 1, approve the proposed Board of Public Works policy on sidewalk dining. 2, replace the current policy, which was approved by the board on May 11, 2022, and to implement the use of the special engineering fee as authorized by ordinance number 187722, and 2, receive and file the proposed LADOT policy for on-street service dining. And this morning we have Mr. Tanat here and Ms. Jacqueline Garcia on this item. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you. So this board report is proposing minor clarifications and minor changes to the current board policy on sidewalk dining. As a brief background, in May 2020, the city launched the LA Alfresco program to support outdoor dining opportunities for restaurants. This temporary authorization allows outdoor seating areas in sidewalks, on street, and on private properties. Under the Council File 20-1074, the City Council has adopted various reports directing BOE and other departments to expeditiously transition LA Alfresco participants to the permanent outdoor dining program. On May 11, 2022, the board adopted the automated LA Alfresco transition process, which included the use of the special engineering fee instead of the Tier 1 fee of $556. On December 19, 2022, Ordinance number 187722 was published to amend the LMC section 62.118.2 to authorize the use of the special engineering fee for certain revocable permit applications and to authorize a Department of Transportation review fee for revocable permit applications for roadway dining areas. The ordinance became effective in January of this year. Following Ordinance number 187722, this revised sidewalk dining policy is submitted for consideration to reflect the use of the hourly special engineering fee for some cases, such as 1, when the existing alfresco participants transition to revocable permits through the automated process. 2, when there is a minor change after the application expires. 3, when there's a change in the scope of work after BOE processes the application and completes its review. 4, when there's a change in permit ownership with no changes to the layout of the existing dining area. Additionally, the alcohol requirement in the existing policy has been modified to clarify the approval from other governmental agencies. The smoking requirement has also been updated to reference the latest LMC section. Lastly, the noise restriction requirement has been updated to be consistent with the outdoor dining standards in the proposed ordinance per the letter of determination from the Los Angeles City Planning Commission dated May 9, 2023. The proposed ordinance is currently pending City Council approval. The automated transition process will require reprogramming of the BOE revocable permit web application. The reprogramming is underway and is planned to be completed well before the end of the LA Alfresco program. The implementation of the special engineering fee and adjustments in the current board policy on sidewalk dining will provide clarification to the existing alfresco participants and new applicants and will help to streamline the all permit process. Now, before I pass this on to my colleague, Jacqueline Garcia from LADOT to present LADOT on-street dining policy, if you have any questions at the moment, I'm open to any questions you may have.
Thank you for that, Mr. Tanat. Any questions, colleagues? Is that the end of your presentation?
Yeah.
Great, give me a second. Vice President Villegas.
Thank you. And thank you, Tanat, for your presentation. Can we have a representative from LADOT also provide, from their perspective, just some of the changes that were made? I realize that you just touched on them a little bit, but I just wanted to have them, just for the record and for public transparency, just go through those.
Yeah, so my portion of this presentation, the receive and file, will take about 8 to 10 minutes. So I could go ahead and get started on that and then do comment after.
Okay, very well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. And then if we could, if it's possible, if you can weave in any of the questions that were asked, if you can answer any of those during your presentation, if only if it's
I can do that.
Yeah, only if it's in your presentation. Thank you.
Okay, so good morning, Commissioners. My name is Jacqueline Garcia with the Los Angeles Department of Transportation. And what is before you today is LADOT's proposed policy for on-street dining, which will be shared as an informational item. This policy will go into effect when the on-street dining encroachment option for revocable permits issued by Bureau of Engineering launches later this year. This marks a major milestone in the transition to a permanent outdoor dining program, and we welcome the feedback of the board, al fresco participants, stakeholders, and the general public. Slide 2. LA Al Fresco was launched in May 2020 as a temporary program that relaxed outdoor dining regulations through a local emergency order. It helped restaurants stay open during the pandemic through providing opportunities to dine outdoors, and in fact, 80% of the businesses we've surveyed stated they would have permanently closed without LA Al Fresco. Nearly 4,000 LA Al Fresco authorizations have been issued since the program launched, with about 3,000 unique participants. Slide 3. LA Al Fresco provides 4 types of dining options. LADOT oversees on-street dining, which encompasses both curbside dining, which converts typically 2 parking spaces for a single business, or parking lane dining, which converts many spaces on a block for multiple businesses to share. Throughout the past 3 years, LADOT has procured and installed the safety barriers that make up the perimeter of the on-street dining area at no cost to businesses. This was done through money the city received from the Federal CARES Act, and that funding has since been depleted. The Bureau of Engineering oversees al fresco sidewalk dining, and the Department of Building and Safety oversees streamlined outdoor dining on private property. Slide 4. These maps show active LA Al Fresco authorizations by outdoor dining type. As you can see, the number and geographic spread of on-street dining is much smaller, and it only encompasses about 4% of the entire program. Despite this, we still have around 150 businesses that may seek to transition to a revocable permit. Slide 5. The primary factors that determine if LADOT can approve on-street dining are listed on the left side. LADOT checks if a dining area would impact access to a fire hydrant, ensures that they're on a qualified speed limit and number of lanes. And they do have parking spaces that can be converted to outdoor dining. On the right shows some other unpermitted zones that we're not allowed to install outdoor dining areas, and these criteria will not be changing in the future, but I'll touch on some additional changes we'll be adding. Slide 6. This provides some visual examples of on-street dining and shows the requirements for safety barriers. At 25 miles per hour, a business must have protection on the sides that faces oncoming traffic. At 30 miles per hour, they must be completely surrounded by water-filled barriers. At 35 miles per hour, only parking lane dining is allowed, which multiple businesses apply together, and we install concrete K-rail and a crash cushion on the approach. This equipment is much more expensive and more difficult to move, which is why we do not offer it to single businesses. These policies will all stay the same, with the only difference being in the future, businesses will be required to purchase and install these barriers themselves, as we no longer have the funding or contract to support this in the future. Slide 7. This summarizes our existing application process for on-street dining. A business takes around 15 minutes to complete their application. We review it to confirm our eligibility criteria and let them know if they qualify. We would then prepare and send a 6-page agreement to sign, which includes our al fresco rules, which are about 2 pages long. Once they send the form back to us and upload their insurance, we schedule and install the barriers. And once it's installed, we complete their application and they receive their certificate. The next few slides will describe the future of al fresco on-street dining. Slide 9, on-street dining will be added as an encroachment option under the revocable permit. As our permits are required to be issued by the city engineer of the Bureau of Engineering, this permitting process will be more collaborative in nature, where LADOT reviews applications to ensure they meet our policies, and BOE will subsequently issue the permit. Slide 10. This table shows all the fees that will be associated with on-street dining. Our application review fees were adopted into the LAMC in January 2023. A business would also be required to pay a BOE revocable permit fee and a sewer facility charge that is assessed per seat. Outdoor dining structures would need to have plans submitted, and a business would pay an hourly structural review fee, and a business would subsequently need to obtain an A permit for construction work in the public right-of-way. These fees will all be collected one time only and would be approximately $700 lower for existing participants. Slide 11. Our draft policy is the reflection of over a year of work, which involves collaboration with multiple departments through regular working groups. These working groups allowed us to discuss lessons learned over the past 3 years and was also informed by a participant survey and inspections of all on-street dining areas. When the program started in 2020, businesses were simply placing tables and chairs on the street because that's all they could afford. But as they're slowly recovering from the pandemic, they wanted an on-street dining area that matches the atmosphere of inside their business. This means a lot more furnishings, decorations, and in some cases, dining structures. This means our 2 pages of policies we currently have need to evolve to permissibly allow these type of items, but ensuring our goals in safety, movability, and accessibility are still achieved. So now I'll summarize our proposed policy, which is provided as transmittal 1 of the report. Slide 13. Our proposed policy is organized into 3 sections. The approval criteria describe how LADOT will review and approve applications. The design standards consist of our requirements for safety barriers and our policy on furnishings, and the operational rules are the rules a business must follow to keep and maintain their permit. Slide 14. Our goal is to make this transition process easier for existing participants. As a result, we've identified Phase 1 policies that must be met before an existing participant obtains a permit. These policies focus on safety. Phase 2 policies must be met within 6 months of obtaining their permit. These include making your dining area accessible and having a dining structure approved by the city. Certain policies will be waived if no complaints have been received in the last 3 years. An example includes required permissions for using loading zones. Any new business that applies, however, would need to meet all of our policies. Slide 15. In addition to the eligibility criteria mentioned, some proposed additions to our new participants include they can only receive up to 2 parking metered spaces. They must provide additional permissions to use loading zones, green short-term parking zones, or to use parking spaces in front of neighboring businesses. A business must also be open the majority of the week and must allow use of the on-street dining area during all business hours. Slide 16. The next several slides will summarize some policy changes in our design standards. As a business will now be required to purchase and install their own barriers and walls, we're providing more rules on allowable walls. Our policy prohibits sidewalls that, for instance, a person could walk through, have extremities stick out of, or have items fall out of the dining area and onto the street. Slide 17. A couple new rules we are proposing new businesses must follow is to enclose water barriers with an approved cover so they're not visible to the public. This is in an effort to make an on-street dining area look more like a permanent fixture in the public realm and less like a construction zone. New parking lane dining areas would also need to decorate their concrete K-rail. Slide 18. In order to make an on-street dining area accessible to the public, a business must either install a deck that meets our standards or purchase or build an approved ADA ramp. Decks must have a water drainage channel against the curb and a screen that covers it. These are policies we're giving existing businesses additional time to meet. Slide 19. In our proposed policy, shade coverings must have a clearance of 7 feet and must have a maximum height of 10 feet off the ground. We are prohibiting roofs made of a solid material such as wood or metal, and instead allowing fabric roofs that meet our specifications. Businesses also have additional time to meet these policies. Slide 20. In addition, some proposed changes include having reflective tape on the edges for increased visibility at night and installing a 12 by 36-inch object marker sign that faces oncoming traffic. Cities like Beverly Hills and Long Beach already require these. These policies will also have additional time for businesses to meet. Slide 21. Our proposed policy emphasizes that dining areas may need to be temporarily removed at any time for city utility or construction work or in case of an emergency. However, we still want to conditionally allow dining structures contingent that they can be easily removed. Dining structures, such as what you see on the right, would need to have structural plans and calculations submitted to BOE's Structural Review Group for approval. This includes any existing structures and any new structures a business might want to install. Our intention is to ensure businesses have options that do not require structural review. So if a business wants to have something more simple, such as what you see on the left, they can install an ADA ramp and would not need structural review. Existing participants would have that additional 6 months to have their structural review plans cleared. Slide 22. Many of our operational rules are staying the same, but some new rules that are added include having a maintenance agreement signed, not storing furnishings outside of their approved footprint, which we have seen, not using dining areas as a food pickup zone, a queuing area, or a pathway of travel, and not having advertising per city ordinance. We are currently waiting on council's final direction regarding ambient music and curfews for outdoor dining areas, and we are intending to have all alfresco dining options share those same standards. Lastly, I'll summarize the next steps of this policy in the transition. Slide 24. This week we released our draft policy and have emailed it out to participants as well as industry stakeholders. This information is also available on our webpage. At the end of July, we will conclude public comment, which will inform a final policy to be released in August. And then during the subsequent months, we will provide more one-on-one assistance and better communicate how this policy will affect participants' dining areas. We'll develop a compliance checklist for each business. And then sometime in the fall is when we are anticipating a permanent application system would be ready.
Excuse me.
Slide 25. I wanted to highlight some other work that is currently underway. The California Coastal Commission has temporarily waived outdoor dining program from the coastal development permit process until December 2023. City departments are investigating how we can continue to allow businesses to operate outdoors, which sometimes results in lost parking spaces without each individual business having to apply for such a permit. The Department of City Planning will be reporting back to council on this item in the coming months, and we'll keep all alfresco businesses updated on that progress. Slide 26. A draft ordinance that was prepared by the City Planning provided a streamlined permitting pathway for private property dining, and that ordinance will soon be adopted. There's been a lot of confusion on how this ordinance relates to outdoor dining in the public right-of-way. Two provisions in that ordinance that would benefit on-street dining and sidewalk dining include an expedited alcohol approval process after applying with the Department of City Planning, and exemptions of design review for businesses in specific plans or overlay zones. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you to everyone that did provide public comment on this item. To speak on a couple of those, we are open to extending our public comment period if that is of interest to alfresco businesses and stakeholders. We are intending to make our policy more visual than it is right now. We do realize that right now it's only text. So once it is final, we're going to be developing a visual guidebook that would probably be better for businesses to easily understand our policies. We are also intending to release a task order solicitation to onboard a consultant that could help us develop standard plans for on-street dining structures. While that won't probably help existing businesses that already have a structure that want to keep it, it would help new businesses that want to have a structure that's already been cleared by the city. Ambient music, we are intending to have the same policy that private property dining will have, so we're pending that direction. We would be willing to consider the transferring of permits from a previous owner to a new owner. Something we have seen is when a business permanently closes and the owner of that property might want to have a new business take over that dining area. Sometimes that gap in time can be several months. So we do get complaints from the public saying, hey, no one's using this area, parking spaces are impacted. So I think we'd be willing to definitely wait a few months for a new business to take over that spot, but we'll have to develop some sort of timeline for that, a reasonable timeline. Standing height tables, I believe this is meant more for bar height tables, and I believe we have removed that from our proposed policy, but we'll have to take a look at that. And with that, I'll take any comments and concerns or questions on this item.
Thank you so much, Ms. Garcia, for your presentation. Very thorough, and I appreciate, being, and also answering to public comment. Thank you for that. Any questions or comments, colleagues? Dr. Davis?
Okay, yeah. In terms of the overall completion of this proposal, when do you intend to advance it in terms of making it available for restaurants to use?
Yeah, so the policy itself, we intend to make final probably around August, and then in August we'll be visualizing it into a guidebook. But in terms of actually it going into effect, that would be when the revocable permit application system launches. That would allow on-street dining, and that's not probably going to happen until later this year, towards the end of the year.
I see. So one of the benefits of this policy is that it clearly expands the capacity of our restaurants in the city of Los Angeles to be able to serve more people. And obviously, in terms of the city, it creates an opportunity for revenue generating funds for us to be the person to execute the program. What are some of the other benefits of the program that you have heard as you have been putting together this potential policy for our city?
Yeah, so we've definitely heard economic benefits regarding the program, both through the participant surveys we've done, and we've actually done a couple of studies recently where we compared corridors that did not participate heavily in El Fresco to corridors that did, and we have found that their sales tax revenue and gross revenue were significantly higher than those that did not participate as heavily in El Fresco. Other than that, we do see, benefits in walkability in areas. For instance, I'm thinking Larchmont off the top of my head have completely transformed to be more walkable communities for especially local residents.
Oh, wonderful. In terms of the tables, there's been some discussion about high tables. What is the issue there in terms of high tables that we've been pondering?
Yeah, so in our temporary program, we did have a policy prohibiting bar height tables. I believe that might have been taken from potentially the restaurant beverage program. We were basically taking certain policies from existing programs into our temporary program. In terms of on-street dining, I don't really anticipate that being a huge issue. We don't have very many businesses that do have bar height tables in on-street dining areas right now, but we're certainly not opposed to considering removing that sort of policy in the future.
In terms of the implementation of this program in Los Angeles, currently we do have a program, right, where we do have some restaurants who are currently operating sidewalk efforts and outdoor dining. This new reform of policy, how will it differ from what we currently have as it relates to permitting on, sidewalk dining?
For on-street dining? Or
on-street dining.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, currently we think all the same types of businesses that could apply right now would still be able to qualify. Our criteria aren't necessarily changing that would limit or lower the number of businesses that would be eligible. However, in terms of what a business can build and not build and the types of furnishings they're allowed to have, we are going from essentially 2 pages of policies to many more, as you see in the transmittal. So that was really a reflection of just seeing what's out there and determining what additional changes we needed to add to make it safer for the public.
Are there any other measures that we are going to implement in the policy that will help us to expand the awareness of those who own restaurants about the availability of online dining in this policy that differs from the existing practice that we've had in the past?
Yeah, in terms of outreach on our policy to, I'm assuming, generate additional participation in the program, that's something we definitely hope to do. you know, we always had a goal to have around 50% of our businesses participating in the program be in more disadvantaged areas, which unfortunately was a hard goal to meet, even with additional outreach. So I think we did realize that after this policy is adopted and we want to launch a more permanent program, we do need to go back to the drawing board and figure out what additional support we could provide to restaurants, definitely in multiple languages, whether it's application assistance. We have already been in contact with EWDD and how we can offer support through business source centers where businesses can come in and have application assistance. Yeah, so measures such as that.
Are there any barriers that exist in terms of the implementation of the policy to make the licenses available for businesses? Are there any geographic areas that seem to appear to be prohibitive based upon anything that is dominant in that geographic area that would cause a problem in their being able to exercise the license that we are proposing in this proposal?
Yeah, for on-street dining, the reason why you're seeing that only 4% of businesses are participating in on-street dining as opposed to sidewalk or private property dining is because of, you know, it is more restrictive, for instance, in the speed limit. We can only offer curbside dining on speed limits up to 30 miles per hour. So that could be one challenge for businesses, which is why sidewalk dining or private property dining might be a better fit for them. I have noticed that I think businesses are more heavily investing in on-street dining areas rather than just tables and chairs like you would see on the sidewalk in an on-street dining area. It's usually a lot more elaborate. They are investing more money into it, so they might see that as, oh, I might not have the money for on-street dining, let me do sidewalk dining instead. So we definitely want to ensure that it's not necessary so much to exactly, you know, have an elaborate on-street dining area. There are cheaper ways to do it, but also we want to provide other options for businesses so they can decide which one's right for them.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Davis, for your questioning. Vice President Villegas, and then Commissioner Corson.
Thank you. Thanks again for your report. I just wanted to ask engineering just a few questions and just to provide a little bit of context just on what's before us today, because I understand that we'll be also collaborating and doing more on Build LA, and if you can give us a little bit more context on that. I'm asking because we did have public comment, just kind of like a coordination amongst all, you know, bureaus that oversee this program. And since we have Building and Safety, LADOT, Planning, BOE, I just wanted you to speak a little bit on that, on how we're going to utilize Build LA.
Sounds great. This is Tanat Satikit from Bureau of Engineering. Yeah, we have our programmers in the Bureau of Engineering working on implementing or updating the Build LA. Build LA will be the one source information where applicants and the public can come in and they will be directed to various proper outdoor dining permits or authorizations. So that will include, you know, sources. They will be directed to BOE website or, you know, to revocable permit application or even Building and Safety, LADBS, for the on private property dining.
Okay. And will we offer a virtual counter as well?
Yes, we are looking into that. However, right now we are working on creating a more focused place for the public to submit any questions they have. We are utilizing the customer service request, in which this is the request or this is the platform that we allow applicants and the public to submit any questions, any comments, and this platform will direct those questions to the proper engineering group. We are adding a category for alfresco into this platform so that if they have specific questions regarding alfresco, they will be directed directly right to us, to my group, to answer them and assist them appropriately.
Okay, and so then when you say that, I infer that when we do get questions from the public just on requirements, things like that, also other of our city agencies will be available with that information? Or is it that you'll receive it and then forward it? How is, I realize that I'm probably a little bit of steps ahead of how that's going to be developed, but is that the intent?
Right now, we are, for the CSR, I understand that we should be able to coordinate with other departments like LADOT. We might be able to give them, now I cannot say that for the programmers, but I can definitely work with the programmers to see if they can give an account to LADOT and have them have access to our CSR related to Alfresco.
Okay, all right, thank you. And then, just changing gears here a little bit, just if you can just speak to the some of the changes just in fees. I know that we're going from $149 for a revocable permit, and now it's for new businesses, it's going to be a little over $500. If you can just speak to that.
Sure. So currently, for non-alfresco sidewalk dining, any applicants that come to us, they would need to pay the Tier 1 fee of $556 plus some surcharges. The $149 will be implemented for those who would like to transition, and it provides a cheaper option for the restaurant owners to transition, and for certain cases that we are allowed to use this $159 special engineering fee because it provides a cheaper option for the restaurant owners. So any new businesses that come into us not transitioning from Alfresco, they would need to still pay the Tier 1 fee. But for those who would like to transition or have minor changes, they can do the special engineering fee.
Okay, thank you. And I think that is all for now for my questions. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vice President Villegas. Commissioner Corson?
Thank you. Maybe a question for one of you, but I'm going to guess this is a question for both of you. So I know DOT has, over the last decade, struggled with speed surveys, and some of them have been updated, and they're only good for 10 years. So assuming that a lot of them that were renewed come up in 2027 for another renewal, my assumption is that when we talk about lane closures, we're going to see a lot go from the 35 to 30 within a short amount of time, and that changes the cost of the permitting, that changes the cost of the structures required. In terms of that, is that something that has been considered in the DOT proposal and also on the BOE side when it comes to fees? Because you may have one side of the street, restaurants work together, and they've invested in all of this structures and they've paid the fees, and now on the other side it's cheaper because we've gone from 35 to 30 miles per hour, right? So that's just trying to get some understanding on that.
Yeah, Jacqueline Garcia, LADOT, I can speak on that. So a recent California bill called AB 43, which I want to say was maybe authorized in 2021, if not 2022. It did allow cities more tools to set speeds. For instance, we now have provisions that allow us to set speed limits to the prior speed limit, a lower speed limit than it was before. It also provides a provision where we can lower speed limits in business improvement districts. So that's another measure the city might be looking to explore because, as you said, speed is probably the biggest prohibitor of on-street dining. So, for instance, there's many streets, especially in the valley, that are 35 miles per hour or more that can't participate in on-street dining. So certainly, as the city does, various engineering treatments on the street, whether it's lane reductions, et cetera, that could then result in lowering speed limits, and then they would be allowed to more to participate in LA Alfresco. So that's something we're hoping to see.
So for BOE, when it comes to structures, if it requires structural review, we would direct the design to our structural group for structural calculations, review, or structural capacity, and so forth. Now, the cost will be the same. The cost will be captured in the A permit. We would issue an A permit to allow the construction to happen, and to also allow the inspectors to go out there and inspect the work to make sure that was built per plan.
Thank you, Tonat, for the questions. Vice President Villegas?
Thank you. Just, I forgot, I meant to ask if you can just reconcile for me DOT. We had a public speaker just wanting a little bit more time just to provide feedback. How does that reconcile with the timeline that we have from this board and then to City Council and just the timeline that we have before us?
Yeah, so our policy actually is going to be a general manager policy, so it doesn't need to get approved by a board or other body. In terms of timing, it seems like we could probably accommodate a 60-day comment period and still allow us to continue on the same path of opening the revocable permit application system sometime in late summer, potentially fall. So I think that was our main challenge in making sure that this policy was fully finalized before that system opens. But it seems like I think we could accommodate a longer comment period.
All right, thank you. And then just last, I just wanted to say that these recommendations that are before us, they weren't done in a vacuum. I know that this group's been meeting. Also included in this is LA Fire, building and safety, if you don't see them here, planning. So it's not done just by a small group of folks, but just many city family members as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vice President Villegas. I have just maybe one recommendation and one question. I'll start with my question is, how did we come up with the fees? And it could both DOT and BOE?
I'll go first. Okay. For BOE, this is the special engineering fee. It was already adopted. Well, the use of the special engineering fee was approved by the board in May of last year for allowing the engineering to charge this fee for the transition process from alfresco to the permanent revocable permit. We're just clarifying for the cases that we expect to be consistent with other districts, because engineering, we have 4 districts within the BOE, within the city of Los Angeles, and this is just to be consistent throughout the city and to clarify when engineering could use this fee. And the tier 1 fee is already in the LMC 62.118.2, so that is already in the code, so we have been using that for all new sidewalk dining applications.
Thank you, Tonat. Next, sorry, DOT.
Yeah, so the LA DOT review fee, like I said, was adopted in January 2023. That was done through a fee study that our department conducted, where we looked at the types of position classifications that would be doing application review and the number of hours that they predicted for that application review. So that was the fee that we collectively determined with the CAO's office. It is a little bit lower for existing participants because we do think that there's going to be less hours involved in reviewing those applications because we have already pre-qualified them. However, there still would be time in going out to the field and looking at what existing furnishings they have and determining if that does meet our current policies or what might need to be changed.
Okay, thank you for that. And I guess my recommendation would be, and I imagine you're doing this, but there's another way to outreach some of these businesses. Have you been working with the Office of Finance?
We have not worked with Office of Finance yet on this. We do know that they have access to, databases on all active, restaurants and bars in the city of LA. So we can definitely do that as well and reach out to that group of folks right now. We've only reached out to existing LA Alfresco participants on this policy, but we're open to expanding that outreach.
Yeah, that would be my recommendation to do. I want to make sure that folks that that are not involved and have the capacity to be able to offer this type of dining to their constituency also be able to get this information.
Yeah, we would be happy to do that.
Thank you very much. Those are my comments and questions. Everybody asked really good questions, so thank you very much. And thank you also for the public comment. That was very also needed and useful. Any other questions or comments, colleagues? Hearing none, are any objections? Hearing none, is there a motion at the table to move item number 1 forward and forthwith?
So moved.
Thank you, Vice President Villegas. Is there a second? Thank you, Dr. Davis. Dr. Campos, there's a first by VP Villegas and a second by Dr. Davis to move item number 1 forward and forthwith.
Absolutely. We'll start the voting tabulation. We'll start with you, President Garcia.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis. Aye. And Commissioner Corzine.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm moving on to item number 2. Before I do that, please do not interrupt the meeting while we are talking, and it's not your time to speak. This is your first and only warning. And I believe we do have a speaker card. Give me a second, sir. We do have a speaker card. This is by the letter, person by the letter that starts with B.
Well, for the record, it's either blow job or fat cunt. And the reason why under CD all, however, slash CD9 should not be included because of the allegations brought against Current Price. And Current Price doesn't represent
Please stay to the
CD all.
topic.
Well, I'm
That is
making
not part of
reference
the
to
topic.
BPW 2023-0386, Item 2, Bureau of Sanitation's CD all. And that includes CD9, you fucking bitch. Task Order Solutions regarding Engineers, Inc. So the fucking authorization of a fucking director for his fucking sanitation and shit, or shit designee to shit issues and amend for a fucking fat cunt to shit number 2, to toss shit number 112 to City Hall, to Mothers Hill Engineers Incorporated. Now that's just my MOU of an acronym. However, for the extending term, the fucking attorney on record here today, that cunt, should understand that on July 1st, 2023, 2024, I, a constituent of California, am in opposition to your amendment. So go back and re-advise your fucking attorney, your fucking former attorneys, that Current Price is a dirty nigger.
President Garcia, we do have one caller on the Zoom application that has raised their hand as well.
Great. We'll take public comment via the virtual platform. Thank you.
Dr. Tom Williams, if you can please unmute your microphone at this time. The Board of Public Works is considering item number 2. Dr. Tom Williams, if you can please unmute your microphone. The Board of Public Works is considering item number 2. You'll have 2 minutes to speak under this segment. President Garcia, I'm not getting a response from Dr. Williams. Dr. Williams, if you can hear us, if you can please unmute your microphone. You'll have 2 minutes to speak under item number 2. President Garcia, I think he's back. Dr. Williams, if you can hear us, can you unmute your microphone? Nope. President Garcia, I'm not getting any response from Dr. Tom Williams.
Okay, very well. Public comments for item number 2 is now officially
Hello?
closed. Oh, Go ahead, Mr. Williams.
There's no sound.
We can hear you loud and clear. Dr. Williams, please go ahead. We do not have a connection with Dr. Williams.
Okay. If he comes back, we'll see if we can let him speak again. Very well. Public comment now is officially closed for item number 2. This is a request in all council district from the Bureau of Sanitation. Amendment number 2 to task order solicitation number SN 112-CH2M Hill Engineers, Inc., recommending the board to, 1, authorize the director of the Bureau of Sanitation or designee to issue amendment number 2 to task order SNN-112 to CH2M Hill Engineers, Inc., extending the term of engagement from July 1st, 2023 to July 22nd, 2024. This morning, we have Mr. Villalobos here. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Excuse me. Good morning, President Garcia, Vice President Villegas, Commissioners, Department Representatives, City Attorney, Dr. Campos, and others in attendance today. My name is Jerry Villalobos. I work with the Diversion Outreach and Education Team as part of LA Sanitation, and we provide support to the Recicla Commercial Franchise Program. I'm here today to brief you for your consideration and approval of an amendment to our TOS SN 112, the Recicla Diversion Waste Characterization Oversight with CH2M Hill, extending the term of engagement from July 1, 2023 to July 22nd, 2024. This TOS was originally approved by this board on June 5th, 2020 for a 2-year period with an option for a 1-year extension. The 1-year extension was executed on May 18th, 2022 through a task agreement form. We are currently coming to the end of our 1-year extension and seeking to extend this TOS for an additional year through this amendment. There is no request for a budget increase as part of this amendment. So I'll go into a little bit about the waste characterization studies, sort of high level. They are required to be conducted by the Recicla service providers or the RSPs per the Recicla contract. They're also required to be conducted by certified processing facilities that process Recicla collected materials as part of the Recicla the Commercial Franchise Certification Program. So the data provided from these studies allows LA Sanitation to measure the amount of material that is diverted from disposal through diversion and organics recycling with the ultimate goal of landfill reduction. It provides LA San also the ability to determine the success of the outreach in education by quantifying the makeup of the materials in the respective waste streams. And by the waste streams, I mean the black, the blue, and the green bin. And we were able to do this by measuring baseline results against current results. So when we first started the program, we were able to identify how much recyclable material was in the black bin, how much waste material was in the blue bin. And it was pretty high. So over the past 4 years that we've been doing this, we've seen a huge shift in the amount of recyclable materials that's in the black bin now being in the blue bin, and the waste that's in the blue bin that should be in the black bin. Although we're still finding that, the percentages have definitely shifted in the positive direction that we are looking for. What these waste characterizations also do is they provide us the ability to give reports to the mayor's office, to this board, and to other entities as needed through the mining of this data generated by the studies. So these studies are conducted in 2 seasons over a year, January through June, July through December, and the number of samples that are conducted collectively by the RSPs and the certified facilities is approximately 1,800 per season or 3,600 per year. So again, these samples are based on the requirements of the contract and the facility certification program that each RSP is required to do for their respective zones and that the facilities are required to do for the material types that's processed through their lines. The results of these studies, along with monthly tonnage reports that are submitted to us by the RSPs and the certified facilities, are entered into what we call a diversion calculation tool. And that diversion calculation tool allows LA San staff to calculate the disposal reduction rates of the RSPs to determine if they are meeting their disposal reduction goals as specified in the franchise contracts. What these studies also do is allow us to measure the results of the facilities and calculate the recovery, or what are called capture efficiency rates, for those specific waste streams that are being processed by those respective facilities. Approval of this amendment will allow LA San, in partnership with CH2M Hill, to continue providing oversight of the waste characterization studies to ensure that the studies are conducted in accordance with the waste composition studies guidelines that were developed specifically for the Recycler franchise program. And with that, I thank you for your consideration of approval, and we'll be happy to take any questions should you have them.
Thank you so much, Mr. Villalobos, for your presentation. It's really nice to hear the shift that has happened based on the education that you provided. I do feel that there has been a lot of effort in educating the community on blue bin, black bin, green bin, and I think brown bill as well. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. Any questions, colleagues? Vice President Villegas.
Thank you, and thank you for your report. Just a quick question, as what is before us is a time extension for CH2M Hill to do their report. Can we have access to that report? Can we review it? Can we see it?
You want to see the results of the studies? Sure, we can give those to you, absolutely, yes.
All right, that would be helpful.
Yeah, it'll show the percentages of materials by zone and the recovery rates of the facilities, as well as overall recovery rates for the city as a whole as part of the franchise program. Right. What it allows us to do is, if we're not seeing the shift of the materials going from into the respective bins, then we maybe need to look at additional outreach and education, because that needs to be ongoing. Because if we don't have that, then people tend to sort of slide back to their old ways. So we anticipate that outreach and education is going to be an ongoing thing as part of the program.
Thank you so much, Vice President Villegas. I do have a question, Mr. Villalobos. On here it says, authorize the Director of Bureau of Sanitation or designate to issue amendment task order number 2. This, based on Vice President's question also, it is just a time extension, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, no additional funds or change of scope of work?
No, ma'am.
Okay, got it. On that basis, I would be okay with this then. Any other questions or comments, concerns? Seeing none, is there a motion on the table to move item number 2 forward and forthwith? Vice President Villegas, a move, second by Dr. Davis. Dr. Campos, who is running over here. There's a first by Vice President Villegas and a second by Dr. Davis to move item number 2 forward and forthwith.
Yes, let's start the voting tabulation. We'll start with you, President Garcia.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
And Commissioner Corzine.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Mr. Villalobos.
Very much.
Have a good weekend.
Likewise.
Moving on to item number 3. This is a request from the Bureau of Sanitation. Give me a second. Bureau of Sanitation. And we do have a speaker card for this. Person that starts with the letter B.
So we're on item 3, CD all, recuse yourself. Recuse yourself. There's a conflict of interest with current price here. As you know, at 1 p.m., they're going to discuss this recuse and
We need to stay on topic.
bullshit of putting items under CD all, meaning CD 9. That shit needs to stop until this investigation is over.
This is
All
regarding
items should
dump
be
days.
shelved.
Thank you very much. Please stay on topic.
So the revised qualified design build contractors for solar, well, let me tell you something. This
This is
dickhead-
item 3.
Oh. Yeah,
This is the,
dump day, bitch. Dump the day for the bitch. California Department of Transportation niggers understand dump day. It should be called Price Day today. Events at city facilities from July 1st, 2023 through 2024. Yeah, because dumbasses like this have to learn that it's illegal to dump your fucking trash in front of your home when it's not your collection day. Or go dump it at some fucking white dumb bitch attorney's street and drive off and leave it there on the sidewalks. Because this has been going on for years now. You need to start applying discipline and obedience by a warning and then a citation. Otherwise, this fucking white attorney don't get it. Shit's not gonna stop. All these fucking homeless people living on fucking sidewalks and streets, that's a dump day. Seeing all these people living off the streets is a fucking dump day. Because, again, the president and 2 members of the Board of Public Works and the director of Bureau of Sanitation and the designee to execute a service agreement, you suck. You suck like the approved mayor, cunt, bass, ass, who hasn't done it right.
Do we have anybody virtual platform, Dr. Campos?
We do. Dr. Tom Williams. Dr. Tom Williams, if you can hear us, if you can please unmute your microphone. The Board of Public Works is considering item number 3. You'll have 2 minutes to speak under this item. Please go ahead.
I don't believe I was going to speak on item 3, only 6 and 7.
Okay, my apologies. You have your hand raised, so I'll lower it just right now. Thanks.
Thank you. That was regarding the lack of noise. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. Public comment for item number 3 is now officially closed. This is a request in all council district for a revised service agreement, California Department of Transportation Dump Day events, recommending the board to 1, approve the execution of a revised service agreement with the California Department of Transportation to provide dump day events at city facilities from July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2024, and 2, authorize the president or 2 members of the Board of Public Works and the director of the Bureau of Sanitation or designee to execute the revised service agreement subject to the approval by the mayor. And who do we have here? Mr. Isaac and Mr. Shin.
Good morning, almost good afternoon now. President, Commissioners, Executive Officer, and City Attorney. My name is Nat Isaac. I am a project manager for the LA Sanitation multi-item program for over the past 6 years. And my co-presenter today is Mark Shin, who is a manager for Solid Resources Collection Division. We are here to request your approval of a revised service agreement for a 1-year service agreement program with the California State Department of Transportation, also known as Caltrans. LA San intends to enter into a service agreement with Caltrans for receiving funding from Caltrans for the implementation of the Dump Day Events program, which is for the receipt and proper disposal of bulky item materials from throughout city council districts, all city council districts, I might add, from city drop-off locations in those districts. This item was previously approved by the Board of Public Works on August 24th last year, but due to delays in approvals and signatures from the Caltrans side, we passed certain event dates, and as a result of missing those event dates, Caltrans would not reimburse us for those event dates. We have been putting on these events over the past year, since 2022, and we were hoping to get some reimbursement from Caltrans for those events as well, but we missed those dates due to their delays in signature. So we created a revised service agreement that will begin July 1st of this year. As you know, the City of LA is the largest city in California, covering an area of 502 square miles, and we have a lot of bulky items and illegal dumps that are put out throughout the city that really need a place to be. Our 301 system currently allows for the collection of these materials from residential households. We have, of course, the cleanup events that we do, sweeps, etc., illegal dump cleanups, but we wanted to offer an additional program to residents to be able to bring their materials whenever they need it to do, or at least on the as close as possible to when they need to bring it for disposal. So we produced a program that allows them to bring it on a monthly event at our council district locations, and we call it the dump day events, basically. This program with Caltrans will allow us to receive about $400,000 in funding for the events that we put on in fiscal year 2023, 2024. So basically, we'll enhance the city's program that we currently offer and basically be of no cost to city residents to help clean up all the unhoused bulky items that are out there. So yeah, every bulky item needs a place to be. Let's keep LA running beautifully. With that, I conclude my presentation. Any questions?
Thank you so much, Mr. Isaac. Dr. Davis?
Yeah, obviously, the value added in dump day is a positive one for the operation in sanitation in terms of us going out, and we do go out often when we get the calls from 311 or from various administrators within the city. Our staff go out. But however, I do understand that by making available the dump days, it will get citizens to help us in helping to expedite getting these bulky items off of the street. So it will help us be more effective, I would say, probably more efficient, I would also say.
Yes.
What I'm unclear about is how will it work in terms of where citizens will go to dump their bulky items? Are there sites? Where will they go? And secondly, how do we get the information out to them about where these locations will be? Because I've noticed in this motion before us, it says all of the districts. So please explain to me how that works.
Great questions. City of LA currently has facilities located in all council districts, and we utilize those facilities for this particular program to offer a monthly dump day event. We advertise through a flyer, which each one of you should have a copy of, both in English and in Spanish, and it lists out the dates and the locations and the material that can be brought in and cannot be brought in as well. We encourage all council districts to participate with us in distributing information to their constituents, either through social media or through events that they have and offer this flyer to the constituents who arrive at the events, attend the events. We also have our own social media program for sanitation that advertises all of our events, whether they be open house events or events such as this one. And that reaches a lot of people, either through the internet or through social media. Yeah, and that's basically how we address all those publicity issues. Caltrans has not really been too particular about us putting their information on the flyer as well, but council districts are welcome to add that to the flyer, and we can advertise on their behalf as well so that they can get name recognition for the event.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Davis. Any other questions? Mr. Isaac, I have maybe three things, but one is on the authority number 2, where it states the president, 2 members of Board of Public Works, the director of sanitation, or designee. I am going to recommend to strike or designee and keep it at the Bureau of Sanitation and the Board of Public Works.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Any objections, colleagues, on that? Great. Second, I'm a big fan of this program, and Mr. Isaac, I'm going to put to the challenge sanitation to come back to us, and it doesn't have to be here, but come back to me. I want to see how we can make this program almost every Saturday.
Wow.
I know, wow. But once a month is quite not enough to the necessity we have out there in the street, and bulky items are very important. I would also recommend that we do a full outreach to any apartment rental associations so that this information can get to them, because we see the highest dumping when there is a movement or moving on the first or last of the month in apartments. And so I just want to make sure that the apartment association gets this information. And I do want you to go back to our Director of Bureau Sanitation with my recommendation that I want to see a report, a cost analysis of what it takes to open every Saturday a dump day.
Okay, I think that with the success of the program thus far, we've collected over 12,000 items in fiscal year 2022-23 through this June. We had a recent event. And we've had about 2,000 participants thus far. So I think that with the additional media blitz to rental associations, et cetera, we'll definitely get more people coming in as well. And I would definitely will recommend that we do a weekly, I'm sorry, not a weekly, but a weekly Saturday program for this event. Mark, would you like to add in something to this? No. Okay. Definitely. Thank you so much for those suggestions, and we'll take those into account. Yeah.
Please do. I am going to follow up on that and make sure that there is a cost analysis to that. I just think that there is a huge need out there, and the more feasible that we can have folks dump things and not dump them on our curbside would be the best way that we can furnish the city and bring it back to beautifying it. So I just want to make sure that we take that into consideration.
Yeah, so this particular contract service agreement is for funding that will allow us to do it monthly.
Oh, I know.
And so that leaves 3 more weeks out of the month that we need to find funding
Great.
for.
And if we need to come back to the California Department of Transportation asking, maybe that's something to consider.
Yeah.
Okay. Putting it on you, Mr. Isaac. All right, any other questions, comments, or objections? Hearing none, is there a motion on the table to move item number 3 as amended? Thank you, Dr. Davis. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Corson. Dr. Campos, there's a first by Dr. Davis and a second by Commissioner Corson to move item number 3 forward and forthwith as amended.
Yes, let's start the voting tabulation. We'll start with you, President Garcia.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis. Dr. Davis, is that an aye?
Aye.
Thank you. And Commissioner Corzine.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Thank you.
Great, thank you
Thank
very
you very
much.
much.
Have a
Have a
good
great
rest of the day. Moving on to item number 4, this is a request from the Bureau of Engineering and the Bureau of Contract Administration in all council districts, and we do have a speaker card for that. Person that starts with the letter B.
This is a good one regarding, again, CD All. District 9 must recuse itself due to a conflict of interest, and you must shelve Mr. Kern Price and his district from an improvement of this
Please stay
item.
on topic.
So Jeff Karpoff was an investment into solar energy and the storage of solar system projects. And you know what he did? He got indicted. He got indicted because, like the former attorney of Los Angeles, dickhead Peter Thomas.
Please stay on topic.
I'm giving you a scenario because in DWP, don't get me wrong, they do have a service called solar, dumb bitch. So Solar Engineering and Crown Electrical Corporation and like Edison and all these other motherfuckers that tell you that this is a good thing, well, it's not a good thing. Because we don't know what the solar effects of storing energy is going to do to the fucking planet. Right? We don't. And that's the reason why Mr. Davis is wanting to leave early to go get lunch so he can wake up. So, whether we accept the process of verification of this energy, fuck your LLC, like I said, for the record, and the power design and the subcontractor, because we still cannot come to a conclusive decision that there is a collusion, like I said for the record, JEFFCARPOFF was involved in some solar scandal. And there's other people involved, like the City of Industry had this dickhead ripping off people down there too. How would I know that? Because for the record, I turned in evidence about those dicks from industry.
2 minutes.
Dr. Campos, do we have anyone on the virtual platform?
We do not at this time.
Great. Public comment for item number 4 is now officially closed. This is a request in the Bureau of Engineering, the Bureau of Contract Administration, and we have Mr. Fierce on that. Mr. Fierce, I'm going to read the title of it, and then I will let you get into the recommendations. Would that be okay with you? Great. Revised pre-qualified list of design-build contractors, solar, photovoltaic, and energy storage system projects, community-level contracting opportunities. Yes, excited about that. I know. Come on up, Mr. Fierce. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. Good afternoon. So in 2019, the Los Angeles Green New Deal set a target of installing 3 megawatts of solar voltaic and energy storage systems on municipal facilities by 2025. On June 19, 2020, the board authorized the city engineer to advertise and issue an RFQ to recommend establishing a list of pre-qualified design-build contractors for the design and installation of solar, voltaic, and energy storage systems for city facilities. The RFQ was advertised on June 30th, 2020, through the Los Angeles Business Assistance Virtual Network. A total of 25 firms responded. On December 17, 2021, the board approved 11 firms as the pre-qualified design-build contractors for the list for all city departments to utilize. At that time, the board made an additional recommendation to invite the 14 non-selected design-build contractors that were disqualified to correct their respective submissions. The RFQ was extended until February 4th, 2022 for the 14 firms deemed non-responsive. Bureau of Engineering notified the 14 firms via email about the board's approval to invite the non-selected design-build contractors to correct their respective submissions. 5 of the 14 firms submitted corrections to their original submissions during the time extension. The specific missing or inadequate submissions were noted for the individual firms. City staff implemented the same review and qualification processes as specified from the adopted board report. During the review process, city staff was not initially able to verify the battery energy storage systems qualifications and experience for PCS Energy LLC. PCS Energy LLC submitted one of their subcontractors, ECO Power Design, as having the design and construction experience for the battery energy storage systems. So on June 1st, 2022, the city sent an email to PCS Energy LLC requesting the missing client contact information and project dates for the referenced battery energy storage system projects for verification. On July 5th, 2022, the city received a clarification email and verified that the ECO Power Design had design and construction experience to the referenced battery energy storage system projects. So based upon staff review, it was determined that 3 of the 5 contractors who submitted revised SOQs met the requirements of the RFQ. Bureau of Contract Administration staff also verified the contractor certifications as of August 16, 2022. So therefore, the following 3 contractors are presently qualified and recommended to be added to the previously approved list. That's Service Inc., GC Green Inc., and PCS Energy LLC. The city's engineers recommends that the board approve the addition of the above 3 additional proposed pre-qualified design-build contractors to be added to the list. The new companies will be added to the existing list to bid on and perform solar, voltaic, and energy storage system projects for city facilities. So this concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you, Mr. Fierce, for that, your report. Any questions, colleagues? Vice President Villegas? No questions. You said, repeat this again, there was 14 on the list, and how many submitted a proposal?
5
out of the 14?
5 responded to our notification that they could correct their submissions.
I see. So 5 out of the 14.
That's correct.
Got- Did we take a survey or did we ask why others didn't submit?
It was, we did, well, we reached out to everyone on the list
Okay.
and had some degree of correspondence with everybody. Some of them just basically declined because they realized they didn't meet the qualifications. So at a very basic level, they just decided they weren't qualified to do the work. And others may have just chosen not to respond at all.
Understood. And can you explain to us the community level contracting opportunities more specifically?
Yeah, so this list gives us an opportunity for community level contracting. And basically what we would do here is that it's a design build contract. So when we go out for the request for bids, we could identify in our pre-design level of work areas of work that the design build contractor could prepare the bid documents for us that we could issue as a community level contracting. So it's smaller scope of work.
See, is this your first, or is this the only community level contracting opportunity that BOE has at this time?
No, my understanding is that we're actively looking for those opportunities.
Thank you. Yeah. That's what I thought, but thank you for that. Thank you, Mr. Fierce, for all your answers. I don't see any other questions. Any objections, colleagues? Seeing none, is there a motion on the table to move item number 4 forward and forthwith? Thank you, Dr. Davis. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Corson. Dr. Campos, there's a first by Dr. Davis and a second by Commissioner Corson to move item number 4 forward and forthwith.
Absolutely. We'll start the voting tabulation. We'll start with you, President Garcia,
Aye.
Vice President Villegas, President Pro Tem Davis,
Aye.
and Commissioner Corzine.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimously. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Have a good rest of the day. Good weekend. Moving on to item number 5, this is a request from the Bureau of Engineering and the Bureau of Sanitation in Council District 13. And we do have a public speaker card with, the person starts with the letter B.
Yeah, the same cunt that spoke earlier. So on item 5 regarding CD 13, now you see Hugo Soto Martinez is the sole monitor of this one fucking motion here. But again, contract awards, you know, there's something fishy about these fucking contract awards because there's a contingency to carry them on and pad your wallets and shove your hand between your legs and grease up your nuts. Yeah, you're fucking nuts. And I say that because due to construction budgets, like this $2 million of chump change, because money grows and falls off the fucking trees in LA, because you're so fucking stupid of wasting money, you abuse money, and it's not your fucking money, so you just waste it. Give yourself a fucking job, sit there and feed your fat fucking face, and your former fucking dumbass attorney across the street doesn't get shit right. 42 C 1983, fuck the attorney service here in LA. Because you can simply get these projects fast track, red flag, and save lots of money, but you'd rather tax the ass of the taxpayers. But some of you are not homeowners, so you don't understand that. You're still paying a mortgage, or you're still jacking off in your little shack and paying rent and paying for high-cost luxury apartments, because that's what that fucking dumb dickhead former mayor Garcetti did to us. And now that dumb cunt bitch has to pick up the slack.
Can we stay on topic?
Because city engineers and the issues that I've discussed, for the record, on orders and revising construction is the reason why we fall fucking behind in all this shit. Look at Campos is going bald. From the last time we were here, he was a healthy young man.
Please stay on topic.
And now he has to hear this authorized construction budget bullshit for the fucking project because a fucking goat herder runs the city in a shithole of taxation. Fuck Krikorian.
Dr. Campos, do we have any public speaker comments via the virtual platform?
None on item 5.
Great. Public comment for item number 5 is now officially closed. This is a request in Council District 13 for a construction order and contract award to Maladin Buttick Construction Company, Inc., on-call emergency sewer and storm drain repairs, contract list, Coronado Street, 800 block project. recommending the board to authorize authorize a construction budget of $2,394,315, including contingency for the Coronado Street 800 block project. 2, authorize the city engineer to award this project to the lowest responsible bidder, Mountain Buttick I'm sure I'm saying that name wrong. Construction Company. Buttick, there you go, Buntich, Inc., in compliance with established procedures of the on-call emergency sewer and storm drain repairs contract, on-call emergency contract. And 3, authorize the city engineer to issue construction orders and revise construction orders up to the authorized construction budget for this project on to Buttick Construction Company, Inc. All right, Mr. Guerrero, you are here for this item. Please, welcome.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Yeah, I'm here to report on the construction budget and award for the Coronado Street 800 project to Milan and Buntich, excuse me, for the on-call emergency sewer and storm drain repairs contract, and authorize a construction budget of $2,394,315, including contingency, and to authorize the city engineer to issue construction orders and revise construction orders to that authorized construction budget. LE Sanitation issued an emergency expedite request on May 5th, 2022 to report a sewer spill to BOE's Emergency Sewer Repair Group. LE Sanitation requested BOE to rehabilitate the entire sewer pipe. The existing sewer pipe is near the intersection of Marathon Street and Coronado Street, as is shown on Figure 1. And LE Sanitation also placed the reach on a monthly cleaning schedule until the project is completed to maintain the reach in operating condition and prevent future spills. The bid proposals were received from the top 4 contractors on May 31st, 2022. PPC Construction was the lowest bidder at $1.8 million, but later retracted their bid due to an error. The next lowest bidder was Milan and Buntich for a total budget of $2,559,315, and they were selected. Due to the urgent nature of the project, the BOE Liaison Commissioner was briefed regarding this project and provided emergency authorization to the lowest responsible bidder. Further investigation revealed that the pipe was found to contain multiple sags that were not visible in the original CCTV, which contribute to the surcharging in the line and the spills that were reported by LE Sanitation. These sags were within the pipe bursting scope of work, which would not be remedied by the pipe bursting operation, and the scope of work was then revised to remove and replace the entire reach via open trench, as is shown in the Figure 1. Heavy coordination was made with LADWP and LADOT, since LADWP is also concurrently installing a new 30-inch water distribution line on Sunset Boulevard west of the existing sewer line. It was also found during construction that the LADWP crews were chlorinating the water lines in the area and flushing the water in the system on Coronado Street, causing the surcharging in the system on multiple occasions. After meeting with LADWP supervisors, they were instructed to stop flushing the water into the sewer system by both BOE and LA Sanitation. Due to the change in scope, from the original bid scope Buntich has submitted a revised proposal lower than the original proposed cost for a total construction budget of $2,394,315 was approved. Construction started on January 9th of this year and is scheduled to be completed on July 14th, 2023. The Bureau of Engineering staff then recommends the board declare Milan and Buntich to be the lowest responsive bidder and authorize city engineer to issue construction orders and revise construction orders to Milan and Buntich for this project. That concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Guerrero, for your presentation. Any questions, colleagues? Any objections? Seeing none, is there a motion at the table to move item number 5 forward and forthwith? Thank you, Vice President Villegas. Is there a second? Thank you, Dr. Davis. Dr. Campos is the first by Vice President Villegas and a second by Dr. Davis to move item number 5 forward and forthwith.
Yes, let's start the voting tabulation. We'll start with you, President Garcia.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
And Commissioner Corzine.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimously. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Mr. Guerrero.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
You too. Thank you.
Moving on to item number 6. This is an administrative item. We do have a speaker card. We'll start with the person that starts with the letter B.
Yeah, this fucking Jew's not going back to Israel because non-discrimination in state-sponsored programs and activities
Stick to the content,
and public
please.
places regarding specifications for sidewalk repair program of $2 million. No person may be denied the benefits or unlawfully subjected to discrimination under any program or activity, either funded directly or assisted financially by the fucking state, you fucking cunt. So the sidewalk repair program under WOE 1909077 for an estimated of $2,251,484, period, bitch, means that it'll take you a fucking lifetime. I'll be dead before I get my fucking sidewalks, my fucking curbs, and my fucking ramps. That's how fucking stupid you are, Garcia. Fucking stupid. Public places and public sidewalks are a condition that the board has been adopting for how long, and you fucking don't spend the money because that fucking former attorneys have been stealing it in collusion with all your fucking programs under the federal and state violations, you stupid motherfuckers, like streets, highways, sidewalk, walkways, public buildings, medical facilities, including hospitals. The ADA will also be in violation of this section under DFEH, and I justify it to handle a complaint for violations of this section under Government Code 12948. For the record, you fucking stupid attorney, I want my fucking sidewalks, I need my fucking streets, and by the way, I love you, thank God it's Friday, you fucking cunt.
We'll go next public speaker, Arnold Sachs.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Arnold Sachs. So this is item 6, invitation of bids for sidewalk repair. So I'm wondering, again, by the way, I'd like to thank you for having the audacity to talk about bringing more students out here from the East Coast when you have an overwhelming amount of homeless people from the 2nd District, Mark Ridley Thomas's ex-district, overwhelmingly. And he went again, but that's a different story. Anyway, because these sidewalks are located in each one of these city districts, what is the idea of not using the AB 1290 funds that come from the state that was a result of the dissolution of the CRA, Community Redevelopment Act, that Governor Jerry Brown discontinued back about 10 years ago? And the bus bench revenue, why isn't that money made available to the neighborhood councils to get involved in this bidding? Why can't the neighborhood councils be empowered to actually do bidding for this work for small businesses in that neighborhood? I mean, we should have an idea that these neighborhood councils should have members from that council district, not people that work from other districts that work in that council office and overload the neighborhood empowerment groups. You need to be able to have people who work and live in that particular district that are allowed to use that funding that comes from the state, and it should not be going to the council office. It should be going into a neighborhood
Thank you, sir.
improvement.
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Campos, I believe we have a virtual public comment for item number 6.
Yes, we do. Dr. Tom Williams, if you can please unmute your microphone at this time. You'll have 2 minutes to speak under item number 6. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon. Dr. Tom Williams, Citizens Coalition for a Safe Community. And we tried to review this item, but we couldn't find the specifications. So we'd dearly love to have it continued and provide the web address for the specifications, because we're quite concerned regarding ADA compliance clauses within the specifications, and we would like to make sure that they are there. So if you can make sure that they are there, you can pass this one on for advertising. But please provide us with the web address for the specifications so that we can review them regarding ADA compliance, because there are over 100 non-compliant ADA areas within the district of El Sereno. So give me a web address. That's it. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Dr. Campos?
That clears the queue for item number 6 for public comments.
Great, thank you very much. Public comment for item number 6 is now officially closed. This is an administrative item, specification submitted for board adoption and authorization to advertise for the invitation of bids in Council District 1, 4, 5, 8, 10, 11, 13, 14, and 15, sidewalk repair program package number 64, work order E1909077, for an estimate amount of $2,251,484. If we can just kind of bring it down a little bit, please. Thank you. I'm having a hard time hearing. Thank you very much. Bid receipt date August 2nd, 2023. This is a administrative item, so is there a second to my motion to approve item number 6? Thank you, Dr. Davis. Dr. Campos is the first by me and a second by Dr. Davis to move item number 6 forward and forthwith.
Yes, let's start the voting tabulation. We'll start with you, President Garcia.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas, President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
And Commissioner Corzine.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much for that. Moving on to item number 7, this is a oral report by the status of major upcoming street improvement project by the Bureau of Street Services. And I'm going to call speaker with the letter B.
Speaker with the letter B, you still have 25 seconds under the 10-minute rule. Speaker with the name B. President Garcia, no one is approaching the podium.
Great. Next speaker is Arnold Sachs. That's not the way I usually do it. So you can either speak now or you can pass. Thank you. You're passing? Okay. Please. Please.
Thank you again. Upcoming street improvement projects. Again, I just read where the city of Los Angeles terminated the contracts of 90 plus private contractors who do work for the city. If they don't have the contractors to do the paving or the work or to drive the trucks, what's the sense of having an update on these proposed improvements? Because you don't have people to do the work. So if you don't have people to do the work, why are you proposing to do these projects? You're chasing tail when you should be leading. We have some serious problems here. We have overwhelming destruction of streets. Some of these streets are so bad, it's incredible. 7th Street is terrible. The bullocks they put up to destroy the passage, you're not getting any parking revenue. The 110 freeway, the money that's supposed to go to the communities is being privatized. You don't spell fast track with one T. You spell fast, F-A-S-T, and you spell track, T-R-A-C-K. Somebody is unfortunately stealing all that money. I wonder who that could be. It's incredible the amount of fraud, waste, and abuse that goes on in this city. They should put it on one of these flags. It's really a shame. It's a sham. And I'm looking at it's about the law again. you have two different LAs.
2 minutes.
You have L period, A period, and you have a law. If it's a law, then it is not working for the city. Somebody is pocketing all that money.
2 minutes.
And
if you
it's
can
the
please
head
wrap
of
up.
the unions, or it's the head of the people that are bringing in the contractors. Somebody's not
Thank
getting
you.
paid here.
Next speaker, John Perez.
I don't have my seeing glasses, so I'm going to have to wear this one, if you guys don't mind. Thank you for having me again. We just went through, the Esnita went to the city council program, the city council meeting, and we spoke, reached out to us, Kevin, is it Kevin DeLeon? Kevin DeLeon actually says that they were not even aware of what's going on with us. They're not. And I don't understand how that could be. I'm hoping, I'm not coming here to say anything, negative to you guys, but I think everybody needs to be aware of this problem that we're having. There's a solution. I hope Teresa Villegas.
Sorry, we're on public comment on the item. Please stick to the item.
Oh yeah, the item number 7. What is it?
Major upcoming street improvement.
Major what? Oh, yes. I'm part of the major streets, improvement. I'm definitely part of that because that's what the contract's all about. I know that George Garcia is going to give the presentation from Street Services on the direction of Keith Mosaic, but we need to understand that in order to get these streets done, and you could take that to Heidi, we need this program to stay in place. 133 years we've been building this city. People, don't forget that. Even this building, I'm pretty sure. So please, take that in consideration with the city council, with Karen Bass, with Heidi, and with our governor. We are exempt under AB 5, on the business to business. It's a simple thing. You can tell Heidi it's a simple thing. I can tell you exactly how to do it. Thank you. Oh, I got more minutes. Oh, I got more time.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second. Yes, take that to Heidi and actually, work with us. I don't know why she's.
Please stay on the agenda item. If you
Oh yeah, it's part of that. I think Heidi has to do it with street services as well, right? She governs a lot of stuff, I think, and definitely she needs to understand that for this program to stay alive, it's not because of us and what we're making, what kind of money we're getting. It's
2 minutes.
because the city needs. The citizens of this Los Angeles, they need, the streets to be in proper.
2 minutes, if you can please wrap
so
up.
everybody can be safe. Don't go hit a pothole and die.
Thank
Please.
you.
Thank you.
Next speaker, Victor Vasquez.
Hi, Victor Vasquez Sr. back again. Now we're talking about the future of the city of Los Angeles. So I'm very gung-ho about working on the Olympic, where they're going to keep the Olympic athletes, over here by Cesar Chavez and up the street and Mission. We also worked on the 6th Street Bridge. That's all part of the infrastructure. We are the best case scenario that you got. We do it diligently, religiously, 7 days a week. I say Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. Our streets of LA are in dire needs. They're twice as bad and they're in jeopardy. The taxpayers deserve the best, and we've had that in place. We have 1 week left under a 133-year contract. Today, I'm calling out Gavin Newsom to add us to the AB 5 exemption.
Connect your public comment to the item, please.
Sure. These streets right here, you're not going to get them done by using, just to let you know, you got all this money coming in federally and through the state, but you're not going to get them done by hiring independent contractors. Then they'd be violating the law. So we're just trying to keep it real and keep you really protected and safe. And we have legal counsel to explain it, but for some reason, it's amazing how the people in that room had no, Mr. Paul Krikorian also was interested in talking to us next week, like this. Oh, really? We don't know what's going on in that other room? Wow. I think that's a little bit, somebody's using some top secret information around here, and I don't like it. So let's get together. We got 7 days. I'll meet with you at Alvera Street for some coffee or whatever, with anyone. And let's get an extension at least. A one-year extension would be very helpful to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public speaking cards, either virtually or in person, Dr. Campos?
We do have one person on the virtual platform and then one incoming in person.
Okay, let's take the virtual platform.
Absolutely. Dr. Tom Williams, if you can please unmute your microphone. You'll have 2 minutes to speak under item number 7. There you go. Thank you. Go ahead.
Good afternoon again. Dr. Tom Williams, Citizens Coalition for Safe Community. It would be very good if such presentations as improvement projects provided a list of the projects so that we could track them and so that we could identify neighborhood councils that were going to be involved. One of my issues always is, can he expand the upcoming street improvement projects with adding any sort of ADA compliance requirements for the street gutter ramps? So please give me a list of the upcoming projects and provide the ADA compliance for such street improvements of ramps at the gutters. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. President Garcia, that does clear the queue for public comment on item number 7 on the Zoom application. I believe we still have one more pending speaker card in person.
We do. Mr. Andy?
Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to take the behalf of our friends and this about this program. We all like a family over here. I love to work for the city.
Recall this is agenda item 7. Please speak to
long
that.
time, and I'm a 60 years old guy. I got family. I just bought a truck 5 months ago. It hurt me a lot of time right now. I can work right now. I got a $5,600 payment in my truck, and it's kind of hard for me. I let my truck go. I have a couple of cars go. My kids' education and everything. It's hurting for everybody. Please work us. Let us be together. Let's pull this through. We need your support. We really appreciate that. Thank you so much, and God bless you guys.
Thank you. With that, public comments now officially closed. Calling Mr. Jorge Garcia to do his oral report.
Good afternoon, President Garcia, Commissioners, Bureau Representative Dr. Campos. My name is Jorge Garcia, Superintendent with the Streets Renewal Division, Streets LA. This information is being provided to keep the public informed of the upcoming resurfacing projects and to minimize the impact of the community as well as delays. For additional information or concerns, you can contact our coordinating section for the Streets Renewal Division at 213-847-3200. The following streets projects are scheduled in the Metro or Valley region during the week of June 25th through July 1st, 2023. Friday, June 16th through Tuesday, June 27th from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. We'll begin co-milling and paving San Vicente Boulevard, North and South roadways, Barrington Avenue to Gorman Avenue. San Vicente Boulevard, North and South roadways, Brigham Avenue to Barrington Avenue and CD11 in the Brentwood Neighborhood Council Paving Preservation Program Fund. Tuesday, June 20th through Monday, June 26th from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. We'll begin co-milling and paving Whitsett Avenue, Riverside Drive to Moore Park Avenue and CD4 in the Valley Village Neighborhood Council Paving Preservation Fund. Also, I will provide an update on the 22-23 Paving Preservation Program. During the week of June 25th through July 1st, 2023, the Valley and Metro regions will complete 23 projects for a total of 13.42 lane miles. The press releases were distributed and notifications have been issued. Streets LA has coordinated with the council office to assist with the outreach to stakeholders. We have coordinated with the Los Angeles Department of Transportation for traffic control assistance. This information is also available on the Streets LA website, streetsla.lacity.org, using the reference open projects icon. And this concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Any questions, colleagues? Hearing none, thank you, Mr. Garcia, for your report. And I look forward to hearing next week's report as well.
Okay, thank you. You guys have a good
Thank you
weekend.
very
Thank
much.
you very much.
Have a good weekend, sir. Dr. Campos, have we cleared today's desk?
Yes, you have.
Great. This meeting is now officially adjourned. Colleagues, management meeting is canceled for today. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend. Yeah,